So I thought I'd make this little update video of what's been going on for the past couple months. And what I've been up to is making a bunch of animated loops for the band Incubus. What it is tour visuals that are on the screen while they play songs. So it's quite a different animal than a music video. And I didn't really come up with these ideas. What I was doing was working with someone who drew out little things for me to then visualize and make move. So it was a really good learning experience. In July, the first week of July, they flew me out to Florida because normally I just work by myself, but they flew me out to Florida to work on set on the stage where they're going to be playing a show. So I did some other stuff like stage design. I designed these kind of Art Deco designs on these ship plates that were printed around the screen. The screen was a circle. So all the animation had to be animated with those dimensions in mind. It wasn't a normal widescreen type thing. Like all the movements had to fit within this circle. So that was a little bit different. Also, thinking about color for these live shows is they hardly ever use white because white floods the audience. So that was another thing that I had never considered making music videos before, because it's a different context in a live setting. This big screen, the big stage, and the band. There's all this all these visuals competing for the audience's attention. So the main focus isn't necessarily just this animated movie, but little bits of animation that can be superimposed over the band, and the band's the main focus. The animation's just there to complement the atmosphere and add to the mood. Just like the lights aren't the main focus, the lights are there to be like a visual instrument to the music. So they flew me out to Florida on the first week of July, which I didn't even know that was going to happen, but then it did. And I was working on clips on the plane ride there because we only had 1 week, that 1 week in Florida to finish everything. And I was like a month behind because it's like 30 songs and stuff had to be made for all the stuff. And I was feeling a lot of pressure. And I'd never flown by myself before, so there was a lot of anxiety about that. So I got to the Florida airport, and I didn't know where I was going from there. So I called the Incubus management lady to try to figure out what I'm doing. So she sent someone over to pick me up, and he was looking for me for like an hour, and I didn't know where I was. Oh, I got a cell phone. I got a little terrible cell phone. So he was texting me, this guy was going to pick me up, and I couldn't figure out how to text on it because all the letters, there's like 3 letters on each number. So I wasn't able to communicate with him for a while. So he's getting kind of agitated. And then finally we hook up on the phone eventually. He's like, "Where are you? Where are you? Go outside. Go where you picked up your luggage or something. Tell me where you are." And I was like, I don't really know where I am. I'm on the 3rd floor. The 3rd floor, get outside. So then I'm looking for the place where I picked up my luggage. But the issue is I just brought a carry-on bag, so I never went anywhere to pick up luggage. But then eventually I'm outside and I can't hear anything because there's all this noise. So I'm like, I'm going to come inside for a second because I really can't hear you. And he's like, "I'm driving a white 15-passenger van. Wave your arms. Do something so I can see you." And so I'm like, okay. Oh, wait, I think I see you. "Where are you?" "I'm inside." "You're inside. Get outside." It's like, okay, are you in a white van that says American Airlines? "I'm just in a white van. It doesn't say anything." And so then I see him. I'm like, "Oh, I think I see you. Are you the guy yelling on the phone? Get out of here. What the heck?" I'm like running to the van. I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I've never flown by myself before. I'm really tired. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of noise. And so then I get in the back seat. It's just these two buff dudes driving and just me by myself in the back. And it felt like a movie where the person's being driven off to be murdered. And there's a lot of tension and no one's talking. And I didn't know where I was going. So I asked them eventually, I'm like, so where are you guys taking me? They took me to the venue, and the guy driving is like, I don't even know if this kid's supposed to be here. And the other guy's like, so you've never flown before? It's like, oh, not by myself. And he says, oh, that explains a lot. And then the other dude's like, so what are you doing? It's like, I'm the animator. And that he goes, oh, that also explains a lot. And then they were nice to me from then on. And everyone there at the place made me feel very welcome. But when I got there on the venue, it was like an outdoor place that could hold like 10,000 people or something. And on the stage, they were setting up all the lights, and there was like 80 people running around. There was lots of yelling, lots of intensity, but the guy I'm working with was super nice, and he hooked me up with the dressing room, my own little private dressing room, so I could focus and actually draw and animate stuff, which that was the other thing, is my whole work environment was totally different. I draw on a Cintiq Wacom tablet, which is drawing directly on the monitor, but for this final week, I bought a MacBook Pro laptop and then a Incubus Pro Wacom drawing tablet that you hook up to the laptop. So I'm not drawing on the monitor, I'm drawing on a flat surface looking at the computer screen. So there's this disconnect, this hand-eye coordination thing I had to get used to. So that was a little stressful because we were under a serious time crunch, and I had to relearn these tools. But luckily I got my own little air-conditioned dressing room, and it was super cold in there. But outside, all the guys were getting eaten up by mosquitoes and sweating. And I came outside, and I wasn't trying to be sarcastic or anything. I was just like, yeah, it's really cold in that dressing room. And they all wanted to beat me up because they're all sweating in 100-degree weather. It's kind of funny. But, so yeah, I'm finishing up these clips, and it was cool to see how they were making it go on the circle screen at nighttime when all the audio people and all the techie people left. It was just my little core group of 4 or 5 of us who were doing the video stuff. And we were up until 6 in the morning, just like hustling. I didn't even know when 4th of July happened, because the whole week is just one big blur. I was only in the hotel not very many hours, so I was sleep deprived, but running on adrenaline. It was intense, but I want to do something like this again, because I like the challenge of trying to get less terrible at something. Oh, and the food was super good. At the venue, there was this catering people. They made a big Thanksgiving feast every day, so I never went hungry. Oh, and then one of the final things I was doing was rotoscoping the band. The band filmed stuff of them doing stuff with their instruments, and I'm a little bit mad that I wasn't fully able to develop it the way I wanted to because there wasn't enough time. Rotoscoping, by the way, if you don't know, it's where you take live footage. It's an old animation technique where you take live footage and you trace over it, or use it as a reference and kind of exaggerate certain aspects of it. So I was doing that, and it's crazy. Luckily, one of my friends helped me during the final stretch, which was really nice. I only had an hour left before the band went on stage to finish up all my clips. So occasionally my legs just started shaking uncontrollably, but at the same time I was so focused on drawing these clips that it's like my brain didn't allow itself to have a panic attack, which was good. Occasionally these music promoters would bang on the door, and I'd open up the door and they'd be asking me where Judah and the Lion is, and if I was with them. Say no, I'm not with them. Like, are you the manager? No, I'm just trying to make animation. So that was kind of hectic because it was trying to shift zones from finishing these drawings and then people asking me what's going on, and I don't know where anyone is. And then I met Incubus only very briefly. They were super nice. Well, actually I only met Brandon, the lead singer, and he was saying all nice stuff to me. But he had an idea at the last minute to animate these wolves blinking for the song In the Company of Wolves. And so I was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, yeah. But in my head, I was thinking about all these other clips I'm trying to finish. So it was a stressful situation trying to visualize the ideas of other people. It was just a totally different mindset than I'm used to. And they were wanting content, the video people, they just wanted me to get stuff done, but I'm kind of a perfectionist. So I was really slow, a lot slower than they wanted. But I'm also kind of stubborn in that I have my own way of doing things. And this one scene was of this agent, this buff agent, who was just going to be walking holding a pistol. So I was working on the sketch of this character, and I asked the guy I'm working for, like, is this good? Should I get ready to animate him? It's like, well, he needs to be a little more menacing. It's like, okay, so I redesigned the character. I was like, how is it now? He's like, it's like, does he need to be buffer, taller, a different color? He just needs to be better. So better, I don't know what that means. So I redesigned the character, and I spent forever on this walk cycle because walk cycles are hard. Everyone knows how a human walks. So no frame could be inaccurate or it would look weird. I'm used to just animating weird stuff from my imagination. There's no wrong way to do that because there's no frame of reference for people to point to and say, oh, this is inaccurate. But a walk cycle's one of the hardest things to animate. I spent a lot of time just trying to get the movements correct. So finally I get it, and he's like, oh yeah, that's perfect. So then on the show, when they superimposed it on the screen where the band was playing, it's just zoomed all the way into the agent's hand. The whole walk cycle isn't seen at all. It's just the hand of the guy walking. So I redesigned the character kind of for nothing, but I just started laughing because it was funny. Like, I should have just, if I'd known that, I could have just drawn the hand holding the gun. Which that was another challenge, was trying to, well, I mean, I couldn't know how these animated clips were going to be used because I wasn't the one adding the camera movements or different effects to change the animation. Basically, I was providing the content for them to manipulate in different ways to fit with the songs. Working in the context of a team in that way, it was a totally different thing for me. And I want to do it again because I just like challenges, you know? Like a video game that's really easy is very boring, but it's a lot more rewarding to beat levels and the game gets progressively harder, and it's a lot more fulfilling to accomplish something that's hard than to just do stuff that's really predictable and easy. I guess that's all I have to say. That's occupied 2 months, May through July, and now I'm just getting back to some music videos and trying to record albums. You can follow my stuff on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, where I post GIFs of clips to see stuff in progress and also some stuff from the show, if you're into that. But other than that, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you later.